You know, it's one of the most common questions asked in an interview, but it might be one of the toughest to answer. How do you respond when a potential employer asks, why do you want to work for us? Our career expert Randy Wooden's here with some advice this morning. Before we get into that, you've got an appearance later this morning. Tell us about that.
Right, it's in High Point on Skeet Club Road. The Triad Job Search Network and their High Point chapter has frequent meetings, and they'd ask me to come along and talk about networking and interviewing and that sort of thing. So I believe 9 o'clock's the time.
And so people can take advantage of that. Yeah. That'll be later on this morning. Okay, back to the big question. Yep. Randy, why do you want to work for us? It's a difficult thing. It really puts a lot of pressure into the answer, right?
It sure can, and there are a lot of layers in terms of how you could go about answering this thing. The worst thing to say is because I need a job. I mean, 99% of the people know not to say.
Let's don't be obvious, right?
Yeah, that's. Most people know not to say that, but then it becomes, how prepared are you for the interview? How much do you really know about the company?
Okay.
And quite frankly, sometimes there's not a whole lot to learn about a company. I mean, everybody knows the big employers in the area. They have websites. Everybody knows someone who works there and that sort of thing. And so those answers become easier. But what I try to do is to have people think on 3 levels. The broad level is the industry, whether you're talking healthcare, whether you're talking insurance or banking or whatever. The second level would be the company itself, and that's really what the interviewer is typically asking about. Why us? Why Fox 8? Why would you want to work at Fox 8 versus another station? And the third level is the job content itself and how that matches well with your skills. And so if you really don't know a whole lot about the company, and that's sometimes the reality, you just, there's not a lot of information about them, I would either go with the industry and talk about your familiarity with the industry, how you've worked in it. The industry is growing, it's stable, whatever term you want to apply there. But then I focus on the job content and how that matches well with your goals and your skills. So you can really take the question and run with it in 2 or 3 different directions.
Why do you want to work for? And it helps to have gone over that ahead of time, because you want to seem prepared when you go into that interview. If you had to rehearse an interview, who's a good person to rehearse with? It seems like if you do it with a family member, it gets to be pretty predictable. And it shouldn't be.
It sure can. You may want to seek out someone that you have worked with who is a hiring official. That would be one idea, but you're right. Family members tend to, in some ways, be yes men, and they don't want to hurt your feelings.
Your mom thinks you're smart and you're cute, but sometimes mom isn't the best one. And thank you, Mom, for thinking I'm smart.
Well, and on a more practical level, what do they really know?
Right.
When you look at it, I mean, they may be a nice person and they're a relative, but I'd rather get feedback from someone who has been in that hiring position.
Just be ready for that question when it comes along. Why do you want to work for us? And as you said, the 3 things to think of: think industry, think particular company, and then think personal skills and kind of how those apply.
Yeah, and just quickly, if you talk about the company, you best be able to back up what you're saying. The worst thing you can say is, I hear you have a great reputation. It's a wonderful company to work for. I mean, I can hear the violins playing in the back. So you don't give false platitudes. Just don't do that.
Randy, thanks very much. I tell you what, it makes sense. Prepare yourself. Randy actually offers some free Get Hired workshops every Thursday at noon. Workshop is held at his office, 3540 Clemens Road, Suite 105 in Clemens. Seating is limited, so just call ahead and sign up. The number is 793-8040. You can also email Randy, and we've got all his information on our morning news page at myfox8.com.